There's a possibility I'm just not, you know, genetically disposed to be a Bladee superfan. Yo, it's Pierre, and welcome to another album reaction. Today we're going to be covering Crest by Ecco2k and Bladee. Full disclosure, I've heard 2 songs from this album, the 2 most popular songs. I like them. They're not like in my rotation for really listen to songs, but I've heard them. I feel like they're very popular in the community, so it was kind of inevitable. But I've never listened to this album. I've never listened to any Bladee or Ecco2k album like in full. Maybe see if their whole discographies are worth going into. If the audio's too low or too high, I'll adjust it, don't worry. I feel like this is a tattoo people would get if they were big Bladee Ecco2k fans. Okay, that was The Flag Is Raised, which I have heard. Sorry if I didn't make it clear. I've heard The Flag Is Raised and Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which are the 2 most popular songs from this project. I was thinking of what to say for this, because I haven't really reacted to anything like quite like this yet on the channel. I feel like the closest would be the Underscores project, but it's not even really comparable. What I wanted to touch on mostly was hearing this song already, or having heard this song already. I wanted to touch on what I think it does well, which is a variety of different sounds that were selected for the instrumental. There's a lot of sounds, but they are all kind of glued together really well, which, depending on the sound you're going for, you might not want that to be the case, but in this case, I think it works well. The one comment I had on it that I hadn't noticed is I feel like the song might benefit from like a remaster or something. Like the mixing is super thin, which I know is at least partially intentional, if not fully intended what they wanted, but it makes it difficult to like, it's pretty piercing. I mean, that could just be, each person's headphones are different, but I don't know. It's like a good song. I'd probably give it like a strong 7.8 for now. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm not explaining myself well enough. It's just that I've heard this song before. I don't think there's too many things to say about it other than I like the instrumentation. I like their interesting, like this is always going to be a typical thing you say about Bladee and Ecco2k. I feel like, especially when they work together, is like the swapping of flows and like the different niches that they're filling on each song is really interesting. Even though they're doing kind of similar things to fit the vibe of this song, but Ecco takes it to a different, like this is like the ethereal sound you kind of expect from their duo. Alright, let's get into 5-Star Crest, which I have not heard. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Alright, I'm just gonna let this one go.
Completion is I'm born again, not suffering. I am everything, fountain light from the island. On the iron, rest my head on the arrowheads. Every day, fountain from the arrowhead. On the iron head, rest my head on the arrowhead.
What the fuck? The hell, I was not expecting that. I never know what to do, lyrics or not. If I hear something, I'll track it. I like the perfect sound effect. Ooh, that's cool. Holy shit, he has so many more albums than I thought he did. The song is long as fuck. So they can do a lot of different. I like that. That was a cool flow. It's just so weird. I don't know. This is very nice. The double. Wet arpeggio. Okay. Another switch because we're 4.5 minutes into the almost 9-minute song. Spooky laugh, hyena laugh. We're in like a new song now, okay. I can appreciate a statement song like this. Another switch. Also, I know that I turn like completely red when I click on the album. I'm gonna try to not do that. Sounds like a cat. Meow. I wanted like punchy kick there or something, but it's still keeping that sweet feel. Okay. Well, that was 5-star Crest for Vatinrum. I don't know what that means. Okay. I don't know what I got myself into reacting to this project. And that isn't to say I don't like it. I just don't know how to talk about it. It's so difficult. Like, there's some really cool ideas, and like really unique production that I feel like is a signature of these two, like especially when they come together to collaborate like this. I mean, I feel like the elephant in the room is that it's 9 minutes long, and so you're sort of forced to like innovate and make different sections of the song sound different, which I like a lot. I didn't dislike that song at all, actually, and it was actually better than I expected for being 9 minutes long, and you know, a genre that I'm not like in love with, or a type of music that I'm not in love with. I found it was really like tranquil, really peaceful, had like a pretty cool message. I can't say I was like reading the lyrics the whole time or anything, but from what I did catch, it was like a pretty existential song. I'm like breaking up. I think I know the reason. I think I need to change. Yes, guys, I know I wear the same outfit every video. I do not wear the same outfit when I go outside. Okay? For some reason, when I record these videos, it becomes hard to speak, and for some reason, wearing a tank top is like a lot easier for that. Okay, where was I? The songs so far have been like typical, not in a bad way. I don't mean that as a pejorative. Typical Bladee and Ecco style, where it's like this ethereal, beautiful sound, but not necessarily like the cleanest, if that makes sense. I feel like it'll make sense to some people. It's like not an insult to the music. It's more like they're not the type of musicians, I feel, this is totally my opinion, they're not the type of musicians who focus too much on perfecting like the minute details of things and making every sound as clean as possible. They kind of like the imperfection that comes from creating this like magical ethereal fairy music where you're like floating in a body of cold water and like there's fucking butterflies around you and shit. Like that's not like a sterile environment, if that makes sense to you. Like there's things interacting with each other, like the sounds, the reverb, it's all bouncing off each other, and that's where you get like what I was talking about in song 1, where Ecco's voice is like almost too much with all the layers of like the thin, whispery voice. It becomes close to too much. I don't think it is. So on this song, they play with the idea, I feel, that like not every transition has to be perfect, not every sound has to be so clean, not every sequence has to be like the reverb or the echo interacts with, not Ecco as a person, but the echo on a vocal doesn't interact with everything perfectly, or your flow isn't perfect. Like I feel like there's a lot of like creative imperfections. That's probably what I would say, is like there's a ton of creative imperfections on every song so far. I said every because it's 2, but it feels like I've listened to 5 songs because this song was 9 minutes long. But like I think that's part of the appeal of the music, is what I'm getting at. Like none of this is on accident, meaning like they overlooked, but I think maybe sometimes they do something and it's a little off, and that's like part of the sound, But I really like this song in particular. Like this was a great groove, and I did like when he started talking about death is beautiful over and over again, right? Which I can't find now. There's a time and a place for music like that, I feel like. I'd give it 8.0. Yeah, there's a time and a place, and like, yeah, am I going to be listening to that daily? Probably not. Am I going to listen to it weekly? Maybe not. But like, if you're just chilling and you want to like lay there and like, if you're taking a bath or something, or like you just want to lay on your bed and stare at the ceiling, I feel like this is the type of music maybe for that. All right, moving on to White Meadow, song number 3. So every other song is shorter, right? Yeah. Like, what the fuck was that? A sheep? I love that. You know what's crazy? I just immediately like recognized that melody, not the exact melody, but it reminded me so much of, fuck, no one else is gonna think this.
Wise men say,
Only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Okay, anybody else see what I mean? I really like the song so far. want to make one more comment real quick because I feel like this is the first song where I can actually comment as it's going. I feel like the first two I was just had to let them go. What I've noticed about the song so far, which is really interesting, other than it sounds like I Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis, or I don't think Elvis created that song, but is that it keeps building, but it also doesn't feel like it's building by adding more elements. It feels like it adds an element and takes one away. It builds again, and it doesn't feel like it added, it feels like it stayed neutral. Like, it feels like an element just disappeared. I think it was it might have shifted downwards, but you know what I'm saying. Like, instead of continuously getting more and more, now we've got to look. No, not even. Yeah, I feel like I'm right. Like, we add an element and we take away an element or reduce it. I was wondering when Echo was gonna come in. That's nice. That's really nice. Really like this. It's like my favorite part of the song, regardless of what instrument is performing it, because I feel like they've switched what sound. It's a really interesting sound, actually. Hold on. That is really cool. That is really cool. I don't know if that's the same bass instrument that's doing that, but you've got like the sort of bass line that's not doing too much throughout. And then randomly, and then I think it kind of releases to bring us back to the brightness. Cool. Like glitch pop. Okay. Well, that was White Meadow. I like that song quite a bit. I'm gonna add it to my likes. First thoughts. I really liked the way, like, this song. It felt more almost like an outro song, to be honest. It felt like a climax or like a release of tension where you've built, not necessarily through the song, but it feels like we didn't get the build, but we got the release, if that makes sense. Where it's like this nice, heartwarming feeling to the music, but there's also a somber part of it, and I feel like that's represented well by that weird bass that just crept in randomly. And the lyrics, obviously, there's sometimes like melancholy, where they're kind of, there's a brightness to them, but also like a sadness hidden within. At least hidden, maybe not hidden in the lyrics, but hidden in the song, because it's such a playful sounding tune. But then you maybe look a little deeper or listen a little deeper, and it's maybe not all it's presenting itself as. I would give that honestly like 8.1. It's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, Faust. Why have I heard Faust? I think I might have heard this part. Short and sweet. I don't know how I feel about that song. again, I was sort of thinking about what to say about this song as I was listening to it, and I kept coming back to like the impression I have of like Bladee fans, which is probably like, I don't know too much about Bladee or his fans, but I feel like the people who like this music, oh, this is kind of redundant, but the people who like this music really like it usually, and I just don't think that's me. I don't dislike it by any means. Like, there's something pleasant about it inherently to me. I just don't know if I'm like the target audience, to be honest. Like, I always, when I listen to music on this channel, I always try to give it like a really fair shot, like go into it with a good mindset. So I don't think that's the problem. I just think, yeah, maybe like some stuff is just for some people and not as much for other people. Like, I don't think this is bad by any means. It's just like, I'm not like, holy fuck, that was the best song I've ever heard, you know? And maybe that's not what the type of music they go for is. That song, I don't know, it wasn't bad. Again, I don't think I'll give anything on this project unless it takes a wild turn. I don't think I'll be giving anything like a low rating. I just don't think anything will reach higher than like a mid 8, because so far a lot of the songs are very similar. They're going for that like ethereal, magical, fairy vibe, you know, which is nice. It's just, I'm not sensing that like immediate difference in one song versus the last. So far, the most unique element we've had has been the 9-minute song, and that was cool because it had sequences, but even those sequences sort of felt like they could have been their each own song on this album and it would have fit. All right, let's give this maybe like a 7. Let's listen to Yes's Red Cross. I like that riser. What the fuck was that? Oh, I've heard this. What is that crunchy sound? Like, I've heard just this. I don't know how anything in this song goes, how we got here. That's nice though. Heartbeat. Okay. That's a nice 808. Is this the first like straight up 808 we've gotten? I just opened Audacity again. Those who know, I keep opening Audacity in like every video. Is that the first 808 we've gotten, or like straight up like classic 808? You know? I mean, that might not be the right way to put it, but that's the first like there's bass. It just doesn't feel, it feels more like electronic, like rising bass. Okay, I mean that's an 808, but I've heard that song. Okay, cool. So far I'm really liking Yes's. Like that 808 surprised me. And like the sound effects are cool, like it's unique. Someone's playing with the fucking the rim. That's that. Is he singing literal Christ? Little Red Crest. Oh, I'm stupid. It's called Red Cross. Dude, 808s are so nice, bro. I'm like 808 deprived. I don't listen to music with 808s anymore.
yes, 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 yes. Literal Crest, literal Crest. Exiles, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I've definitely not heard this song because I like it a lot. I've only heard yes, yes, it, like someone singing that to me. Okay. Okay. That was the best song so far by far. By far. Like I had The Flag Is Raised liked, and I feel like this is better than that. I mean, I put a 5-star Crest and White Meadow above that anyway. I feel like that's not taking into account like the catchiness factor. Like The Flag Is Raised is catchy because you hear that first like doo 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 doo, and you're like, that's catchy. And then like, you know, Echo's part is catchy, but it's kind of too much. But the other two songs don't have that catchiness factor is what I'm trying to say. I'm back from the pee break, the much needed pee break. I had to take a pee that whole song. Flag Is Raised is probably like a more listenable song, even though I rated 5-star Crest and White Meadow above it in terms of the rating scale. I didn't take into account the catchability, the catchiness. That's what I want to say. Okay, Yes Yes has all of that, plus it's better. So I would probably give like Yes 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 an 8.5. That was a very good song. I appreciated those 808s so much. They awakened a nostalgia for me. I haven't mentioned this on the channel yet, but I feel like a lot of people my age and of my demographic, you kind of like grew up listening to mostly rap. Like when you were a teen or like a young teen, like a tween and whatnot, you like listen to mostly rap, and like that shit all has 808s and like catchy hooks where like the lyrics don't matter too much. That song reminded me a lot of that. So when those 808s came in, it was like, just keep giving it to me, you know? I like that. I was gonna say something crazy. It might have been on, I think it was on Faust. The way, I think it was just Bladee, but that song in general, it kind of gives me like early Lil Uzi, not too early, prime Lil Uzi vibes, but tweaked. Like they don't sound the same. There's like obviously differences, but it gave me that vibe where it's like that playful vibe with the like repetitive melodies in the background, and there's a lot of them and it's all twinkling. But I do feel like these songs have a more like minor undertone. I don't know necessarily if these songs are more minor than Lil Uzi's songs were. All right, let's move on to Desire Is a Trap. Bro, how many times has he said that? Weird. This is like a different auto-tune than Bladee usually uses. I mean, I'm not a Bladee expert, what do I know? But it feels like this is a different auto-tune preset than he uses on the other songs so far. Cool, it's like a child's tune or whatever you'd say. What's the song? What's that called? A children's... I don't know. Yeah, totally different vocal effect here too. Where's Echo at though? Okay. That song I wasn't too big into. Elements I liked were I liked the rhythm of all the instruments, and I did like all the little which is typical, the melodies, like the repetitive melodies that we've got going on with a variety of different fantastical elements or instruments. But beyond that, I didn't care too much for it. It didn't feel as unique as some songs on this album that I liked more. Um, and vocally, I feel like it was the most like meh song so far. I don't even know if Echo was on there. I might be mishearing, but it sounded like mostly Bladee. I would give that, yeah, I would give it like a 7. Actually, I'd give that it's probably worse. I get like a 6.5. All right, let's listen to Chaos Follows. Cool.
Chaos follows, dreams to fulfill this fantasy. Fly my swallows, swear to them on your loyalty. No tomorrow, nothing is promised as you see. Face this horror, don't break under the weight. Stop falling, I'm gonna start talking to walls. I don't keep walking. Into fossil underground and the heavy forces. Will I allow the law? No, the goal to grow and show the way to know. Will I go my own, say it ain't so, but I will if I have to do for you. The brothers who look at me like tourists. Every article is such a real with these verses. This person, I try to stay platonic, counting every face, every day with a 6 solid. Chaos follows, dreams to fulfill this fantasy. Fly my swallows, swear to them on your loyalty. No tomorrow, nothing is promised as you see. Face this horror.
Honestly, I like that cat sound the most out of anything in the song. All right, that was Chaos Follows. I'll try to be concise because I've got some thoughts on that song, but they're kind of scrambled. I really liked some parts of that song. I just feel like emotionally it didn't resonate with me at all. Like it didn't feel like it had a strong core that like I connected with. They had catchy parts. They had nice instrumental elements to the song. I like the nya nya nya. But yeah, it felt a little hollow to me. There wasn't like a part that's especially grabbed onto me and caught my attention. But I don't think it was bad. Like I feel like it was one tweak away from being really good in my opinion. I'm just not sure what that tweak would have been. I probably would give that like a 7.5. It was pretty good. All right. I've heard girls just want to have fun. Let's quickly go through it. I'll talk about why I like it and how much I like it and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, I have that song on my likes. I've heard it before. I like it. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it's not like these aren't the 2 songs I'd heard aren't songs I like have in my rotation. They're just songs I know. I never knew he said, "Let me go, you can't hold on to a ghost." I feel like that's a fire line. And it has like many, anyone can relate to it differently. Like I just lost my cat. I know the song isn't about your cat, but unexpectedly my cat passed away. So it's like that. Like I said, it's definitely not what he meant, but I feel like it resonates different for everyone. So a lyric like that is kind of sweet because like you can interpret it as like, don't hold on to me. I'm no longer the person, I'm a ghost of who you remember me as. And you can't hold on to that. Or it can be like, you can't hold on to a ghost of, a lost pet, where like you gotta like let them live on or whatever. And not in like a forget about them way, but more like you don't hold on to the sadness of losing someone. You gotta let, yourself and them move on. But yeah, I like that song. What it does best is I feel like that is the pocket where Echo's whispering, like heavy reverb, many layers singing, fits the most. It's not overwhelming. I felt that it was nice. All the melodies on the song were nice. It wasn't like exceptionally amazing. It was just nice. And I feel like for me, as someone who, like I mentioned earlier, I feel like there's a possibility I'm just not, genetically disposed to be predisposed to be a Bladee superfan. That I feel like pretty nice. Like a 8.2 is like coming close to as good as a song can get for me. All right, let's check out the last song on this album, Heaven Sings. I feel like an 808 will go crazy on this song, on this foundation. Crest. I'm getting like Nintendo vibes so far.
See my stars coming down. I dream of life. Have that dream every night. Smiling from up and down, laughing, crying, black and white. I chase the light.
Is that a kick? Was that a kick or am I imagining? Yeah. Ooh. I feel like we're the hold on. I feel like we're the most musical. Those who know will know what I mean. We're the most musical on this album, on this song so far. Like we're doing musical things, if that makes sense. That was really cool. I don't know if that was technically a key change, but he definitely changed the way he was singing. It's gotta be.
Truly gifted I am, glow forever, diamonds and pearls, heaven sings so black diamond Faust on, maybe become real, rainbow at my dawn, confess my song, quiet screams for my queen.
These look like Echo lyrics.
Sacrificial, sacrificial. Oh, 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 I feel it. Sugar superstition. Is it sacrificial?
Ooh, da-da. All right, well, that was Heaven Sings. I could see why it's called that. That was a freaking heavenly awe song. And that was Crest by Ecco2k and Bladee. Let me think about what I want to say about that song. Okay, I feel like that was a great way to cap off the album. Yeah, that was a great send off to the album. I feel like I might have gotten bored of songs like that if they had filled this album with them, but as one final one at the end, I feel like it's very nice. That song felt like a marriage of their unique ethereal sound, Bladee doing it differently than Ecco, but it working together. A marriage between that and like this cool digital, like I mentioned, Nintendo feel that may have not been the goal of the song, but I feel like it had a lot of elements. From the jump, I was like, I didn't say it, but from the jump, I was thinking this feels like, I was thinking, come on, real Zelda fans, no. What am I thinking of? Romani Ranch, Epona song. I was thinking that like low-key gives that vibe, obviously like the sound font type of feeling. But then we moved into like more digital stuff, the weird sound effects, the low bit rate bass, and that is like, I hate to do it, guys. We were so close to doing a reaction without mentioning Voldemort, aka Jane Remover, but that felt like Frailty, which is inspired by, you know, old video game music, or elements of that is inspired by that. But yeah, I thought that was a fucking great song. I thought that was like beautiful, like the type of song you would put on if you were perhaps heartbroken but wanted to, you know, dwell in it a little bit, but also dwell in the feeling of having feelings, which might sound like bullshit to someone who doesn't know what I'm saying, but I think it means something. I would give that 8.5. I thought that was pretty good. Final thoughts on the album. We're ranging from, let's see, a 6.5 to an 8.5. So like I kind of mentioned halfway through, I had a feeling partway through that I kind of realized like Bladee, Ecco2k, you know, and things can always change, but at this point, listening to this album, from what I've heard from them, it feels like they're never going to be a duo or artists that are like my favorite, if that makes sense. But at the same time, they have the capability and honestly like the habit of making music that I like. It's just not going to be my favorite. And so when I listen to an album like this, and I think of, you know, people perhaps who are checking this out because they're Bladee fans, I don't want you to get like the feeling like, oh, I didn't like it, you know, or you know, I didn't understand it. I feel like different people react to music differently, obviously, but your opinion is not invalid. I totally understand why someone might react to this. They have a different upbringing, they have a different you know, tendency in music listening, but for me it was good. Like I said, 6.5 to 8.5 range, and like everything fell within that. That's pretty good. Like that's pretty good. Standouts, yeah, I feel like Yeses was unexpectedly very good. I loved the rhythm of that song, and I loved the unexpected 808 heavy nature of it. Like I feel like they relied a lot on like the kick of an 808 pack, but not the 808 itself. But then it was unexpected, like, okay, well that's the kick, but it was unexpected when it did come in, and then it was heavy. It dominated the song. It was good, but that was the high of the album for me for sure. And then the ending song was great. It was a great send off. Let me know if you want me to react to any other music in the comments. If you have any thoughts on this reaction, please feel free to let me know. Above all else, I love seeing the comments on videos, so when people decide to comment, it really means a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing or leaving a like if you did enjoy anything about this, and I'll see you next time. Peace.